Hi guys, and welcome to the second episode of Team Talk. I'm on my own today, as everyone was busy, but 99% of the time, there'll be at least one other person doing this alongside me. Today's subject, as you've hopefully seen by the title, is about Thomas Soucek, the man who's gone seriously under the radar this season. I know a few of you out there won't like the fact that I'm praising a West Ham player, but don't worry, it doesn't happen too often. Before we do get into the video, I just sort of want to explain how this channel is going to work, hopefully in the future. I mean, normally it won't just be, or hopefully it won't ever just be me again, just because I think it definitely flows a lot better when there's more than one person, hopefully a few more as well, you never know. But definitely I think there won't be any more when it's just myself, but you never know again, depending on what sort of topics come up. I think that's one good thing about football is there's always new topics to talk about every day as football's always changing. One week to the next, there could be a complete different dynamic to whichever league you're interested in. I mean, a lot of my friends are mainly interested in the Premier League, but where's the Champions League and Europa League coming up again? That's going to cause more interest. International tournaments in the summer, even more interest. And I think it's always fun to chat with people about football and about different opinions, because sometimes hearing other people's opinions can sometimes make you laugh or sometimes change your opinion. And I think it's always nice to hear people give their reasons as well, because at the end of the day, it might be completely opposite to your opinion, but they might have their reasons and they might be good reasons as well. And sometimes it's just nice to hear that someone else has a different view to yourself. I mean, I know some people who have some crazy opinions, but we'll save those for later podcasts, hopefully. So, guys, hopefully this isn't going to be too long. Definitely not as long as the last one, as it's just me, and it's quite a brief topic, but I think it's one that needs to be spoken about. Thomas Soucek at West Ham. I think if anyone had told you in January 2020, even a West Ham fan, um, the impact he was going to have would probably the the answer you'd have got from anyone would have been it's going to be minimal, because coming from a sort of unknown league, unknown name, and I think even with some of the stats he's produced before, which were actually really impressive when I look back on it, I think he had one season where he scored 13 goals, which is insane, but because of the league, people don't take any notice of it. However, I think at the moment, people still aren't giving him enough recognition for just how much of an impact he's had on this West Ham side. Bruno Fernandes came in and completely changed Manchester United. I think they were probably about 7th or 8th in the league last season. They ended up coming third. Oh, actually, no, I think 4th. My bad for not looking that up. But they're currently top now, and he's scored a ridiculous amount of goals, got a decent amount of assists, and he's carrying that United team where they really should not be anywhere near the top of the league based on sort of the overall balance of their whole first 11 and squad. However, West Ham last season were about 17th, and now they're sitting around 4th or 5th. I know they've played a bit more games, so maybe it might balance out a little bit, but even then, they're still there. They're 4 points behind Leicester, who are like 2 points off the top. It's crazy, really. And if they keep the run going, then who knows where they could come. Probably not top 4, maybe not even top 6, but who knows at this point. But the fact that Soucek's arrival has made that much of an impact, I don't think, because they've only really added Kufau as well to that side, so you can't really even say, oh yeah, they've changed the whole team. Like, there's not really been any difference apart from Moyes' maybe tactics, and I think he needs more recognition for this in the same level that Bruno is. Maybe not on the same scale, because obviously Man United are contenders to win the league, but it's a similar level of improvement that he's individually brought to a side on his own. I think the crazy sort of stat that he has 7 goals from midfield this season, I think, although maybe you might say fair enough, because he does seem to pop up with goals every now and then. The fact that he and Bruno both have 10 non-penalty goals since the start we'll say start of last season, since they both signed, is incredible to me, really. And I know he hasn't. Soucek doesn't take penalties. I mean, if he did, and West Ham got as many as United, then I'm sure he probably would be getting even more recognition. But I think sometimes with penalties, they can obviously skew your how it looks on paper that you're doing. Not that Bruno's been bad, because he hasn't only scored penalties, but it can definitely skew things. And I think Soucek's made such a big impact that really he does need to be sort of put in the upper echelons of Premier League midfielders at the moment, purely based on that impact alone that he's having. I mean, and it's even funnier when you sort of consider the fact that West Ham's first choice target in January last year was actually Gedson Fernandes, who I don't know if anyone even knows plays for Tottenham at the moment, because I don't even think he's even made any of their matchday squads, or he definitely hasn't started from this season if he has made the bench at any point. And the fact that he was probably going to cost more than Soucek, and he's probably about a quarter of the player, maybe even less than that, is mental. I wonder how much better off Spurs would be if they'd signed Soucek instead, because I mean, he seems like the sort of perfect Mourinho player. He's hardworking, he's bloody massive, and he likes a goal. So I'm sure Mourinho would have absolutely loved him. At the end of the day, sort of moving on to sort of the final aspect of this video, with any player playing for a team like West Ham, there's always that thought of, if he keeps performing at this level, is a bigger team going to try and take him off their hands? I don't really know this one, purely because the playing style maybe isn't the most elegant, which is understandable because he's sort of quite a big guy, scores a lot of headers. But I think a lot of teams need to realise that you always want to play like this, because when a team plays park the bus and 11 men behind the ball, don't care about even having a shot on target, you want to play like this so you can whip a ball into without having to send your centre-backs up every time. He's basically a centre-back with the ability of a midfielder. And I think sometimes it can be a bit invaluable to have a player like that in the team, because in those sort of tighter games, he's always more likely to nick a goal, because it's a lot harder to defend cross-spamming than it is to just sit in two banks of four and try not to let passes go through the lines. I think at this point, West Ham will probably want to charge a lot for him, which I think is understandable. He's only 25 as well, which is quite impressive and quite good for West Ham, actually. But I think I don't really know who he would suit, based on sort of how these bigger teams play. I think, like I said, I think Tottenham would be the sort of the perfect one for him. And sort of the final point I want to finish this video on, just because there's nothing funnier than bashing Chelsea Football Club, because why would you even like them? And Thomas Soucek this season alone has more goals than Kai Havertz, Hakim Ziyech, and Timo Werner combined, as they only have 6. And even funnier for West Ham fans, they're probably sitting about 4 places above them in the table as well. So anyway, guys, that's a bit too much West Ham praise for today anyway. So we'll have to stop that there. I think at no point in this video was I trying to make it about bashing Bruno Fernandes, as I think he's an insane player. And I do actually rate the impact that he's had on Manchester United a lot. I just think it's only fair to praise Soucek in the same way, because his impact, if anything, is greater based on the amount of places he's helped West Ham gain and point difference as well from last season. But who knows? Maybe he'll be able to clean the boots of Thomas Partey at some point soon, because everyone's got to try and meet their heroes in some way. But anyway, that's it from me. When I next do one of these, there'll definitely be someone else with me, which will probably make it flow a lot better. But anyway, thank you for listening, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Goodbye.